Look at the way people look at Alex Jones now, because Alex Jones has been on my podcast a few times.
Yeah, how do they, which direction?
The people that have watched those podcasts think he's hilarious. And they think that he definitely fucked up with that whole Sandy Hook thing. But he's right more than he's wrong.
One of the things you've been talking about a lot recently on your show, even within the past couple months, is your allegation that government officials are aiding in pedophilia, child trafficking, and the grooming of children, right?
You mean like what Jeffrey Epstein did with the Clintons?
That's a problem.
Here's the problem.
And don't
Bill Clinton is a rapist. Infowars.com.
All right, so this guy pops up, says you're a rapist. That's the problem. Bill Clinton went on to talk about the supporters and the dynamic, and he used the word rednecks. Do you think that that's going to wind up coming back around? He goes from being a victim, being called a rapist, right, which is an unsubstantiated allegation, but then that goes into that deplorable category.
Right, no question.
Is that a problem?
He is genuinely trying to unearth some things that are genuinely disturbing for most people. Like, this is a guy that was telling me about Epstein's island fucking decade ago, at least. He was telling me about it. I was like, what? You're telling me there's a place where they bring elites to compromise them with underage girls and they film them? Really? Like, what? Cut the fuck out of here.
It was wild that I didn't know how close my own wife was to the Clintons. I didn't know, you know, I didn't realize it at the time.
That you were married to her?
And well, I was married to her.
How close was she to the Clintons?
I mean, cell phone away, like, or hey, tell Ye to say this away, or hey, go out and use your platform to push the vaccination away. I mean, not away, but like take the away part, but you know.
Do you feel like at times you were manipulated by political forces through your wife?
Attempt manipulation. But yes, there was some manipulation. Me not saying I like Trump was a form of a manipulation.
Not everyone sees an innocent child as someone to protect. And the Balenciaga scandal is exposing a hidden cult that celebrates the death and torture of children. The same photographer who placed the Supreme Court ruling on child porn in the Balenciaga ad that sparked this whole recent scandal also did a photo shoot for France's Double magazine that featured a traumatized-looking child having her passport photo taken for a trip to the same Disney cruise line that provides snorkeling trips off the coast of Epstein's Island, otherwise known as Little St. James. Both photo shoots appear to have been styled by Russian stylist Lada Volkova, a highly celebrated stylist in the fashion industry who works for Vogue, Adidas, Chanel, and has been a top stylist for Balenciaga since 2014. She has deleted her Instagram account since the scandal hit, but archived images show a dark appreciation for child abuse. Images of violent pedophilia, child torture, child disembowelment, Satanism, and cannibalism. Many of these images are appreciated by her rich and famous designer friends, Gosha Rubchinsky and Marc Jacobs, both accused of peddling pedophilia in their own work. A recent video shows what appears to be fake babies sold in blood-spattered Balenciaga swag.
When she starts to cry, like then when she's gonna pee, I don't know. Then when she's boring, she's boring. Yeah, everything possible.
Right as the Balenciaga scandal goes viral, Hollywood actress Nicole Kidman, who was recently glamorizing eating bugs, proudly releases her own Balenciaga ad on Instagram. From what we are learning about these people, it seems strange for us to put our faith in any single one of them. And by all appearances, this wasn't an accident. It seems to be another demoralizing psyop.
The Balenciaga stuff just gets worse and worse. Check this out. the people that recruited all of the models for Balenciaga's runway show was a woman called Rachel Chandler, who has been on Jeffrey Epstein's island. She's even posted a picture on Instagram of CCTV footage back in 2013, bragging about being on the island.
This stuff's got me wondering if all high-end fashion brands are just fronts for human trafficking. So most of us know by now that Balenciaga got themselves canceled by having BDSM bears photographed with children. The same style bears were featured in one of their last runway shows, which was held in a mud pit, as if the brand weren't disgusting enough. But who opened for the show? Yeah, Kanye West was pretty close with Balenciaga before they got canceled for that last photo shoot. Kanye's been all over the place for years. Everybody knows that. I'm sure he's been through a lot. I feel for him, but let's keep our eyes open, yeah?
It's a very small club, and yet the majority of us still seem to obsess over them, like royalty, which begs the question, do we have any power? And if we someday find that we do, what are we going to do about this evil? Reporting for InfoWars, this is Greg Reese.
And then Ye made the proposition and said, hey, I'd like you to be my running mate in 2024. And Trump
I gave him the opportunity. I didn't say I would like him to. I said you have the opportunity.
Right, yes.
To be my running mate in 2024.
Yes. And,
Would he wear a mask as well, though?
I think it would look cool.
I do think it looks cool. So he sat back and folded his arms and he kind of smirked and he sort of dismissed it. But then he got a little bit heated and he said, you can't win. You'll never win. Don't run. You can win at a lot of things, but you can't win at this. And then he turned to me and Karen and said, you guys are smart. I know you work for him, but don't lie to him. Tell him he can't win. And, you know, I love Trump and I love Ye. And so I'm looking at Trump. And then I'm looking at Ye.
So Adidas has been sued by some of their investors over their Yeezy partnership with Kanye West. Hey, it's Asia Sky for Hip Hop DX, and check this out. Adidas has been sued by investors over their Yeezy partnership with Kanye West, which began back in 2013. According to CNBC TV 18, Adidas was recently sued by investors in an Oregon courtroom after claims that the apparel company was allegedly made aware of risk associated with continuing a partnership with Kanye West prior to his anti-Semitic outbursts last year.
For years, InfoWars host Alex Jones claimed the Sandy Hook school shooting was staged.
Sandy Hook is a synthetic, completely fake, with actors, in my view, manufactured.
A hoax.
They're recycling a green screen behind him.
But facing parents seeking $150 million in damages, he changed his story in court.
Especially since I've met the parents, and it's 100% real.
A dramatic about-face on a day when Jones was also called out as a liar.
You know what perjury is, right?
The plaintiff's attorney accusing Jones of withholding evidence.
Your attorney's messed up and sent me an entire digital copy of your entire cell phone with every text message you've sent for the past 2 years. And that is how I know you lied to me when you said you didn't have text messages about Sandy Hook.
$1 billion verdict. That is the total damages for the liar, proven in court to be a liar, and right-wing conspiracy theorist Alex Jones.
It's like, no, President Clinton's been there. Everyone's been there. I'm like, what? It sounds like nonsense. And not only is it true, but people keep getting fucking murdered for it. Did you see that latest Clinton advisor that got murdered about it?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Hung with an extension cord, shot himself in the chest 30 miles from his house, and they're calling it a suicide.
Destroy the child, corrupt them all.
This is their plan, people. These are demons.
And then you can protect your head from the sun so you don't get...
See how fast I did that? Folks, I'm an expert. Every day when I leave work, I do this. Let's do a wide shot, guys. People can see the full power. It's a plan! And I'm angry! I'm not a slave. I've broken the conditioning. It doesn't work on me. I'm primitive. I'm real. I know the enemy. And if we can have this spirit of normal humanity spread, it's over for the globalist. Break the conditioning now. Excuse me.
The difference of this fourth industrial revolution is it doesn't change what you are doing. It changes you. If you take genetic editing, right. Just as an example, it's you who are changed. Yeah. And of course, this has a big impact on your identity. Yeah.
Editing your genes? Cool. I'll explain that later. But first, why do so many people consider this guy, Klaus Schwab, to be the most dangerous man in the world?